What is that?
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
Uh, this
Good morning, learners and viewers. Welcome to the session for entrepreneurship, that is MMPC 018. We will be continuing with Unit 7. We have already started it. That was financing and enterprise. I will be continuing further to it from where we left last time. We start with venture capital investors. Venture capital investors are also equity investors, such as angel investors. They invest in high risk, high reward business ideas, while the traditional investors prefers to invest in businesses with proven technologies. Venture capitalists, in short we call them as VCs, are eager to fund the project where the entrepreneurs are pursuing new and unexplored areas. Venture capital funding is ways to scale the existing operations or to develop a new product or services. Venture capital is a formal risk capital, as the approach of VC is more professional and formal as compared to angel investors. VCs invest at early expansion and at expansion stages for equity in the venture. As they share ownership with the promoters, they are active investors and provide hands-on to approach to the management. Venture capital structures. VCs invest in the venture through a fund. This fund is usually in the forms of partnership. VCs serve as general partners. The investors who provide money to set up the fund are known as limited partners. Insurance companies, universities, endowment and pensions fund can serve as limited partners. Limited partners only provide funds, so they are known as passive investors, while general partners are active investors and they assist and advise the portfolio companies. General partners invest their money contributed by limited partners in the promising entrepreneurship opportunities. The general partners usually get 20% of the capital gain earned from making the venture capital investment, while the remaining 80% will be shared among the limited partners according to their investment contributed in the fund. But this is the logic. What are the features of venture capital investment? The characteristics of venture capital investments are VCs tends to invest in high risk, unconventional ventures. These kinds of ventures find it difficult to access traditional finance for the lack of collateral and uncertainty about earnings or cash flow. VCs invest fund in the companies for long time horizon. They stay invested in the company for a period of to a period extended up to 10 years. VCs not only provide funding, but take an active part in the management of the firm. As VCs actively involve and assess the investee companies, the valuation of such companies grow in future. When they sell their equity, they realize very high returns in the form of capital gains. Venture capital investment process. This is a five-step process basically, which was defined by Tebiji and Bruno way back in 1980. We will start with step number one, that is deal origination. The VC's invest process begins with the first step. Here, the sources are identified. Through this, VCs generate the deals for the investment. The most preferred source of deals for VC is referral system. Here, the investment deals may be referred to VCs by past investing companies. Second step is screening. On the basis of the above criteria, such as industry, size of investment, stage of financing, market scope, geographic locations, etc., the VCs conduct the preliminary screening of the proposals before in-depth analysis. Third step is evaluation. Once the business proposal looks promising, prima facie, in the screening stage, it goes for detailed evaluation, that is due diligence. The viability of the business idea is expanded thoroughly: technical feasibility, marketing feasibility, financial feasibility, human resource feasibility, legal feasibility, etc. All are considered here in this step. In the fourth step, that is structure. Once the due diligence is completed and the proposal qualifies for the investment, the deal is negotiated between the VCs and the bankers. At this stage, the terms and conditions of the investment, such as the size of the investment, type of the security, ownership proportion, duration of investment, type of exit, governance, etc., that is restrictive conditions by the VCs such as change in management, etc., all are decided. Step 5 is post-investment activity. Once the deal is negotiated and the investment is made by the VCs, the investors become a part of ownership and actively involve themselves in the management of the investing company. They may not interfere in the day-to-day operations. Then the sixth part is, or rather the sixth stage is exit plans. This is the final stage in the investment process. VCs stay involved in the companies for a long term and work along with the management for its growth. Their exit is planned at the early stage of deal negotiation itself, as we have discussed earlier. Once the time period is reached, VC may share their stake for exiting from the venture, or they may renew it or they may continue it. Now, what is the venture capital investment in terms of Indian scenario? As the startup trend is rising in India, the support ecosystem is also developing. From the figure, it can be seen that there is a substantial growth of venture capital investment in terms of value as well as number of the deals. We can see that in the bar diagram that number of deals are marked as big, and the line which is moving up, that is the deal value in billion dollars. Here we can see that if we started, we are moving from left to right. We can see that the maximum duration, maximum number of deals are 69.8, and the value is somewhere around $2,067 billion. In the year 2021, the number of deals almost doubled from 1106 in 2020 to 2067 in 2021, reflecting a growth of almost 87%. Contribution of deal value is observed to be around 12% during this growth period. What is the difference between angel investors and venture capital investors? Though angel investors and venture capital investors both are equity investors and play an active role in the management of the company, there are certain differences in their investment approach. First of all, we'll discuss what is the meaning. What does this mean actually? They are high net worth individuals who invest their own money in the seed or early stage venture. And if we talk in terms of venture capital investment, they are professionally managed firms and invest limited partners' money in the early stage. And if we talk in terms of investment size, here angel investors invest their own money at the seed stage, that is the early stage, and the amount invested is then by them is less. As far as these venture capital investors are concerned, pool funds from large investors and invest at expansion stage, so the fund invested by them is higher. If we talk in terms of post-investment involvement, angel investors are active investors, invest at the early stage, their involvement with the investing companies will be more. And if we talk in terms of motivation for the investment, as far as angel investors are concerned, they provide informal risk capital and their motives for investment are not purely financial. But on the other side, venture capital investors, they supply formal risk capital and their motivation for investment is mainly driven by returns on the investment. Now, the next term is term loan. Primarily, term loan from any bank or financial institutions are the long-term sources of capital availed by the enterprise. Term loan is a loan for a particular term, as the name suggests. This term can be short term or for a long term. Short term is just 1 year, and the loan of any duration beyond 1 year is considered to be long term loan. Short term bank loans are available to meet working capital requirement of any firm. It is normally, term loan refers to a long term which can range up to 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, based upon the nature of the project. What are the features of term loan? We start with the purpose. The purpose of raising the term loan can be expansion, diversification, modernization, renovation, etc. As far as currency is concerned, term loan can be availed in Indian rupee as well as in foreign currency. Foreign currency term loan can be availed for import of machinery, technical know-how, etc. In terms of security, term loans are always secure. The assets which are financed through the term loan become the primary security against the loan. And if the loan has been taken, so it has to be repaid. If we talk about repayment, the term loans are to be repaid along with the interest. Bank or financial institutions will conduct the credit assessment before granting the term loan, and the interest rate will be charged according to the credit risk. Moratorium period. Some banks or financial institutions grant moratorium period to the enterprise. This works like a grace period, and during this period, borrowers are not required to pay any amount under equated monthly installment. That is what we call as EMIs. Then comes your restrictive covenants. Some banks or financial institutions put restrictive covenants on the borrowers to protect themselves from any default or credit risk. These covenants are restrictive conditions on the borrowers. Then comes your debentures. Like term loan, debentures are also debt instruments for raising medium to long-term capital. Those who invest in issues of debentures are known as debenture holders, and they are the creditors of the fund. Guidelines for issuing the debentures are mentioned in Companies Act what are the features of debenture? Trustees. Normally, there are three parties to the debenture issues: issuer, trustees, and debenture holders. To protect the interest of the debenture holder, trustees are appointed through trust deed. Trustees supervise the obligation of the borrowing fund. Then comes your security. Debentures can be secured or unsecured. Secured debentures are known as bonds. If the company issues security debentures, a charge on fixed asset of the company is created, and the company issuing the debentures will have to follow the guidelines mentioned in section 73 of the Companies Act 2013. Then comes your convertibility. Debentures can be convertible or non-convertible. Convertible debentures can be converted to a specific number of equity shares in future, as mentioned in the trust deed. If we talk about the interest, holders get interest regularly, either quarterly, semi-annually, or annually on debentures. This interest is known as coupon rate. It can be fixed, floating according to the market rate, or zero. Issue price. Companies can issue debentures for cash. They can be issued at par, that is the value equal to the face value, or at discount, value less than the face value, or at premium, more than the face value. Voting rights. Since debentures are a part of debt capital and not equity capital, debenture holders do not have any voting rights. Debenture redemption reserve, that is DPR. On maturity, debentures are redeemed. To ensure the safety of the debenture holder, companies issuing debentures are required to create a debenture redemption reserve out of the profits, as per the section 71(4) of the Companies Act 2013. Now, we move to unit 8, that is evaluating and preparing business plan. An entrepreneur often starts with a crude idea generation or ideation stage to the commercialization of the product or services. If we talk in terms of the commercialization, it is a crucial decision that involves an investment of a lot of funds accompanied by a risk of whether the business venture should succeed or not. But that is a condition of delivery. Before making the decision on the commercialization of the product or services, one needs to check the viability of the idea. That is, a feasibility study concludes on the workability and profitability of the venture. It is always carried out before the investment of the funds to get a broad idea on the return of investments. Often, business plans and feasibility studies are used interchangeably, but there exists a difference between them. A feasibility study resembles a research project which determines the viability of the business idea, whereas the business plan is a strategic in nature and discusses the tactics for the implementation of the business idea. Business plan makes necessary projections for the future. The fundamental goal of the business plan is to seek finance from the investors, such as venture capital, angel investors, or banks, and also decide the course of action to achieve the underlying goals. Then comes your technical analysis. Technical analysis is technical feasibility, which consists of analyzing the technical and the technological aspect of the proposed idea. It consists of six subparts such as location selection, technology selection, capacity planning, production planning, and operational planning. We will start with location selection. It refers to the selection of the place for setting up the manufacturing unit or service center. Location selection is dependent on the following parameters, that is, the proximity of the suppliers, proximity to customers, infrastructure facilities, availability of the labor, government support, environmental regulations, and the incentives from the government. Second part is technology selection. Technology selection is an important facet to handle routine business operations, maintaining records, order processing, inventory management, database management of customers, database management of suppliers, internal communication, cost tracking, human resource management, and staying connected with the customers and suppliers. Then comes in capacity planning. This refers to the maximum output that a business can produce with available resources in a given period of time. The number of units is a standard tool for capacity measurement. For example, 100 shirts per day or 200 dishes per day. A company must assess capacity utilization. If there is over capacity utilization, it leads to the lower operating efficiency. And if it is under capacity utilization, the company may lose the earning profit or the earning opportunities. Then comes your production planning. It is applicable to the business organization involved in manufacturing activities. The entire manufacturing process may be depicted in the form of flowchart or process study. The machinery and equipment needed to perform the manufacturing process should be described. The most popular type of plant layout is either line layout or functional layout. Line layout, here the machines and equipments are arranged as per the sequence of the product. It is also known as product layout, most suitable for the standardized and voluminous quantity of the product. For example, car manufacturing. And the second type is functional layout. This in this the arrangement of machines is as per the type of operations and not as per the sequence of operation. It is also known as process layout, preferred for low volume customized products. And the examples are apparel manufacturing and service industries such as banks, hospitals, etc. The third one is fixed position layout. Here, in this type of layout, the man, material, machinery, and other tools move to the key component with which remains fixed. For example, manufacturing of boiler or steam turbines. The fourth one is combined layout. It refers to the combination of above layouts. Companies do such layout for the flexibility and the ease of the purpose. For the retail store outlets, different types of layouts are followed. The store layout is dependent firstly on the store design, in which proper space management is to be done so that displays, signage, fixtures, and lighting are made for a better customer experience. And the second factor is customer flow, in which is understood how the customer moves in the store and has a look at the sites. The different layouts which are followed for retail stores are forced path layout, straight layout, angular layout, geometric layout, grid layout, loop layout, or free flip layout. Operational planning, a sequential step describing the flow of goods and services right from production to the customer must be stated. The company must also highlight what quantity of raw material or manufactured goods would be stored. Inventory control procedures must also be highlighted. A stock register is an effective tool of inventory control. They may be prepared using the most popular methods such as last in, first out, that is what we call as LIFO, or first in, first out, that we call as FIFO method. The storage needs and the cost of the same are also to be mentioned in the operational planning. Environmental analysis. The environmental analysis consists of two things, that is industry analysis and competitor analysis. Pastel model. PESTEL stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors, which are external in nature. Each factor has certain items. Practically, the potential impact of each item may be evaluated as high, medium, low, or undetermined. They have different notifications. For high it is H, for medium it is M, for low it is L, and for undetermined it is U. Similarly, the type of impact may further be considered as positive, negative, or unknown. The intensity of the impact may be evaluated as we can say that it is increasing, unchanged, or decreasing, or unknown. The final conclusion of the impact may be figured as critical, important, unimportant, and unknown. Evaluation of each parameter on the grounds of potential, time frame, type, impact, and relative importance is very subjective in nature. One should try to explore the impact of pastel items on his or her business plans. Five force model. This five force model allows the firm to determine industry attractiveness in terms of the potential to earn adequate or superior returns by comparing its business idea with the components of the model. The five components of the model are rivalry among competing firms, the threat for new entrant, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, and the threats of substitutes. What is SWOT analysis? SWOT is an acronym. It stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. If we talk in terms of strength, which is something a firm does well on an attribute that enhances its competitiveness. Weakness is something a firm lacks, does poorly, or a condition placing it at a disadvantage. Opportunities are the most relevant to companies' offerings, and the threats are hindrances that firm may face in future. Strength and weaknesses are internal, whereas opportunities and threats are external. Business opportunity guidance, that is BOG. The potential business idea may be horizontally cross compared with the unorganized market, private label brands, and organized markets. It may be vertically compared on various parameters such as ownership, sale of, type of goods sold, pack size, medium or maximum, prices and discounts, outlets, brand's name, unique selling proposition, that is USP, target consumers, etc. This comparison would help the entrepreneur to identify the gap in the matrix and also guide him or her to pitch the product, decide the USP and segment of the market. Then comes your market analysis. This describes the market condition, the market mix of the potential business opportunity. The market potential analysis can be carried out for demand forecasting purposes. Many methods are available for demand forecasting. An entrepreneur, based on his discretion, may select a method. If we talk about the methods, it can be qualitative method, which includes opinion of jury or Delphi method. Second one is statistical method, which includes moving averages and regression. The third one is other methods, what we call it as survey or secondary sources, which are available. An entrepreneur may either choose one of the methods or a combination of methods to forecast the demand. The entrepreneur has to decide the marketing mix of this product or services. It is believed that a product will have 4 P's and the service will have 7 P's. We talk of 7 P's, that is product, price, place, promotion, physical evidence, process, and the people. The entrepreneur is the businessman has to relate the marketing mix with his product or services. Once there is a clarity on the marketing mix, the entrepreneur has to decide the segmentation, targeting, and positioning, what we call it as STP, of his or her product or services. The STP process refers to dividing the total market of goods or services into several small groups to identify the distinct groups of buyers who can be pitched for sales. Market segmentation is done on the basis of geography, demography, behavior, and psychography. Targeting decisions are based on the identified segments that has a good size, is profitable, and is easily reachable. Under positioning, an attempt is made to create a unique identity of the product or service in the minds of selected prospective customers to identify the niche. Symbolic, connecting the product to the self-esteem. Functional, solving the customer's problem. Or experiential, that is fixing the emotional connect. Positionings are the tools they will be applied. Organizational, legal, and human resource planning. This refers to the form of organization as well as lines of authority and responsibility of the employees in the organization. Before the commencement of the business, the entrepreneurs have to adhere to the following points, such as decide the type of organization, such as sole proprietor, one person managing the entire affairs of the business. Partnership, that means two or more people sitting or setting up the business. Third one is limited liability partnership. A partnership firm where the liability of the partners are limited to the capital contribution by them. And the another one is company, a separate legal entity formed by a group of people to carry out the commercial activity. Once the legal structure of the operation is decided based on its various legal formalities, such as opening a current bank account, opening a permanent account number that is PAN number, registration for goods and service tax (GST) if applicable, registration for excise duty, registration under Shop and Establishment Act, customs duty, tax deduction account number that is TAN, registration for employees provident fund that is EPF, employees state insurance scheme ESI, and state specific guidelines and procedures are to be adhered. These all are the legal aspects which have to be kept in mind. Certificate for incorporation and certificate for commencement of business is also required by the companies. Based on the type of legal structure chosen for operation, the taxability will be for operational ease, a well-defined hierarchical structure with lines of authority, communication, rights, and duties pertaining to the organization is also to be described. In the business plan, the employment opportunity generated by the business and which type of skill set is needed from the employees are clearly spelled out. For this reason, a job analysis is an important aspect. It refers to the collecting job-related data and divide it into two parts, that is job description and job specification. The job description and job specification of each employee must be stated. Contents of detailed project report. What are the contents of this detailed what we discussed and what we have, we have decided and what we found? That should include a title page with executive summary, confidential report, then comes the introduction, venture details, environmental analysis, marketing plan of the study, technical plan, legal analysis, organizational and human resource plan, financial plan, assessment of risk and strategies, and the last one is the appendix. Preparation of DPR or business plan provides a clear-cut understanding of the journey of the moving from feasible idea to commercialization of the product. This is the report of the complete journey from zero to one. The document helps to procure funds from the investors. The DPR constitutes details of technical feasibility, which strives to justify the location layout, planning layout, technology selection, capacity planning, operational planning, and production planning. Now, we move to Unit 9 since DPR has been developed. Now we move to next unit, that is implementing business plans. Once one is done with the business plan preparation and evaluation, one needs to focus on implementation part, such as location, decision, choice, designing, business process, organization, and management planning, and selection of investors' financials. Location decisions are the strategic decisions that requires large financial investments, and they are irreversible in nature. A number of factors like market-related factors, tangible or cost factors, and intangible or qualitative factors are affected by the location choice. The choice is made only after considering the cost and the benefits of different alternative sites. It is a strategic decision that cannot be changed once taken. What is meant by location layout? Plant location refers to the choice of region and the selection of a particular site for setting up a business or factory. Entrepreneurs who choose their location wisely with their customers' preference and their company's need in mind establish an important competitive advantage over the rivals who choose their locations haphazardly. The basic type of layouts are process layout, product layout, fixed position layout, cellular manufacturing layout, and hybrid layout. Some of them we have seen previously in this session already. A process layout is the layout in which similar machineries are put together. In product layout, the machines are arranged accordingly to the progressive step by which a product is made. In a group technology layout, these similar machines are grouped into cells and each cell functions like a product layout within a large job shop or process layout. Whereas in a fixed layout, all the necessary inputs, man, material, and equipment are brought to a fixed location where the product is actually manufactured. The best example is turbine manufacturing or ship building. A hybrid or combination layout constitutes combination of two or three types of layout. That depends on the requirement of the product what we are making or what we are thinking of doing. What are the factors affecting the location decisions? One of the most important steps in the critical part of the establishment of a business is the selection of adequate location for the business, as this can be irreversible in nature. The entrepreneur must identify and select the location site very carefully. The success of a business to a large extent depends on ideal selection of location site. The important considerations for selecting a suitable location are market proximity, supply of required raw material, availability of labor and skills, infrastructural facilities, transportation network, government policies, competition, climate conditions, internet access, and political conditions. Business process. After selecting the location for the business, the next step is to identify the sequence of activities that need to be carried out and their process. Business process chart presents a bird's-eye view of those activities. A business process or business method is a collection of related structured activities or tasks by people or equipment, which is a specific sequence, produce a service or product for customers. A business process has also been defined as a set of activities and tasks that, once completed, will accomplish an organizational goal. The process must involve clearly defined inputs and the single output. Business process may often be visualized as a flowchart or a sequence of activities with interleaving decision points, or as a process matrix of a sequence of activities with relevance rules based on data in the process. The benefits of using business processes includes improved customer satisfaction and improved agility for reacting to rapid market change. Now, how to design the business process? A business process is a building block of any kind of business. By definition, it is a series of repeatable steps that are critical for achieving some sort of business goal. It is something the business does on a regular basis. The more efficient the business process, the better the business will perform. Business processes have always played a vital role in the proper functioning of an organization and in its structure. A well planned and strategic business process will help a business in reducing the expenditure, cutting the cost, risks, resources, and duplication of work, improvising efficiency, reduce human error, ensuring time management, etc. What are the steps in design process? For designing the business process, following steps must be taken care of. Write down the inputs, outputs, and steps needed to achieve the business goal. Each one has a separate. Create the process of whiteboard, virtual or real, with posts. It's each note containing the finest, most granular step you can get down. Draw the links between the different steps and do the process flow from one to the next. Once the initial process mapping has been done, carry out several workshops to identify any gaps in the design. What are the key elements of business process? Business process automation. It is a technology-driven strategy to automate a business process in order to accomplish it with the minimum cost in a shorter time. It is extremely useful for both complex and simple businesses process and is used to execute recurring tasks or processes in a business where manual effort can be replaced. For example, purchase order requests are recurring processes in most organizations. The requesting team fills out a form and send it to the purchasing team. The approving authority then examines the request and rejects the request in case information is inadequate or if there are budget constraints. Without automation, the issues like delayed purchase order arrival, impact productivity, incomplete records, error in the purchase order, error while taking delivery of the supplies could come. Business process automation can help us to improve accountability, transparency, and enable accurate data reporting, which can be accessed by relevant stakeholders when they feel necessary. Then comes your business process improvement. It is a strategic planning initiative that aims at reshaping business processes based on operations, complexity level, employee skills, etc., in order to make the entire process more meaningful, efficient, and contribute to overall business growth. The example of business process improvement involved the merger of two companies in the waste handling equipment industry, having a common set of customers. They analyzed significant value in a merger. When joining the two companies, they found disparate systems and processes and operational redundancies. Following a required tried and true methodology, the ERP, that is Enterprise Resource Planning Consultant team, conducted a current state analysis, identified change management processes to align the two companies, and define the desired future strategy. Among the values realized by the project, the company reduced cost, improved customer response time, reduced manual efforts, improved IT management, and upgraded its vendor management. Business process modeling. It is a diagrammatic structural representation of flow of business activities in an organization or functions within an organization. Its primary use is to document and baseline the current flow of activities in order to identify improvements and enhancements for speedy accomplishment of tasks. This is usually done through different graphic methods such as flow charts, data flow diagrams, etc. Then comes your business process reengineering. It is a complete redesign or business processes after thorough analysis in order to bring drastic impact. It involves identifying the core of inefficiency, carrying out tasks that do not add any value, and even implementing a top-to-down change in the way a process is designed in order to bring out overall transformation. For example, business process re-engineering is that for a fast food company. Sometimes completely redesigning the delivery of products can give unexpected results. In this type of restaurant, the process goes like all others. The customer orders, the order goes to the kitchen, which prepares the meat and then delivers to the customer or the consumer. Business process analysis realized that it would be more advantageous if the meal portions were previously prepared in a separate center and delivered to the restaurant's team. When the customer orders, staff places everything together and delivers it. This is a complete change in the process, resulting in greater control, fewer accidents, greater employee satisfaction, and increased ability to focus on customer needs all without losing quality. The business process optimization takes an existing process and uses analytics and business process mining tools to weed out bottlenecks and other significant inefficiencies in the process. Another business process optimization example is the social networking marketing. Business process mapping. It is a procedure to document, clarify, and break down process sequence into logical steps. Business process mapping is a way to visualize what a business does by taking into account roles, responsibilities, and standards. The mapping is done in written format or visualized using flowcharts. Then the next step is to deciding about operations, planning, and control. Operations planning and control follows operations design because once a product or services has been designed, it needs to be produced. Operations planning and control is concerned with ensuring that the day-to-day production process proceeds smoothly. The operations and management plan is designed to describe just how does the business functions on a continuing basis. The operations plan will highlight the logistics of the operations organizations, such as the various responsibilities of the management team, the task assignment to each division within the company, and the capital and expense requirements related to the operations of the business. That means all activities which are to be performed by the different departments of the organizations are planned. Operational planning is an estimation of what needs to be done to ensure operational processes are efficient and effective, that supply always meets demand. That comes the economic factor. Operational control is to ensure that operations conform with this estimation, and if they do not confirm, adjustments can be made. Maximum production, highest quality, and minimum costs are the guiding principles of production management. Production implies the process of converting raw materials into finished products, which is directly associated with customer satisfaction. Production management plays a significant role in providing satisfaction to the customers. Typical activities which are a part of planning and control process. They are setting objectives so that you know that what is to be achieved by your plans and by your planning. Allocating tasks and the responsibilities, who is to be involved with the new product and service and how they are to be involved. Then comes scheduling work pattern, process scheduling, supply and demand for scheduling. Fourth one is assessing resource requirements, people and their skills, money in terms of budgets, time, raw materials, plants and equipment, and the capacity of the output. Monitoring and evaluating performance, the control part, environment control activities, measure and control techniques. Major thrust area of operations and planning control are selection of technique of production by which the output will be obtained, selection, utilization and maintenance of the machinery, workplace layout, working conditions, production planning and scheduling. Then comes flow of materials, inventory and stock control, cutting and controlling the material cost, skilled workers, material handling, quality control. These are all the operational areas where which are to be looked after. very carefully. Then comes the selection of finances. Dunn and Bradstreet stated that almost half of all new ventures fail because of poor financial management. One of the most difficult problems in the new venture creation process is obtaining finance. For the entrepreneurs, financing for the private firm should be considered from the perspective of debt versus equity and using internal versus external funds. The various alternatives for raising money for a new venture are personal finance, debt financing, equity capital, and creative sources. Personal financing, the main source for the startup money for the entrepreneurs include family, friends, and other sources such as saving, credit cards, loans, and investment. This can be called which can the money which can be taken or you have with you initially. The vast majority of founders contribute personal funds along with sweet equity, the value of the word performed in lieu of payment to their ventures. Sweet equity represents the value of time and effort that a founder puts into a new venture. Second one is family and friends are the second source of funds for many new ventures. Taking help from near and dear ones for financing the new business venture is a commonly used method. While borrowing money from family and friends may seem an easy alternative to deal with bankers, it is actually a much more delicate situation, and it is important to be as disciplined as we would be dealing with the professional investors. Second, third one is bootstrapping. A third source of seed money for a new venture is referred to as bootstrapping. Most people who engage in bootstrapping financing want to avoid taking out loans. Now, bootstrapping is finding ways to avoid the need of external financing or funding through creative ingenuity, thriftiness, cost cutting, or any means which are necessary. Many entrepreneurs bootstrap out of necessity. For example, operating with vendors through letters of credit without actually providing cash, buying used instead of new equipment, etc. But there are various examples for it. Then comes your equity financing. Equity financing means exchanging partial ownership in a firm, usually in the form of stock or for funding. It offers the investor some form of ownership position in the venture. The investors share in the profit of the venture as well as disposition of its asset on a pro rata basis based on the percentage of the business owned. It can be of three types: venture capitalist, angel capital investors, and initial public offerings. What are the stages of venture capital financing? The first one is seed stage. Seed funding takes place at this stage. It is considered as a setup stage, whereas a person approaches an angel investor or an investor in a venture capital firm for funding for their ideas or product. During this stage, the person or venture has to convince the investor why is the idea or the product worthwhile. Second one is startup stage. At this stage, the idea has been transformed into a product and is being produced and sold. The venture is trying to squeeze between the rest and it tries to get some market share from the competitors. If at this stage the management team has proven their capability of standing hold against the competition, the venture capital firm will probably give a go for the next stage. Next stage is expansion stage. This stage is seen as the expansion maturity phase of the previous stage. The venture tries to expand the market share they gained in the previous stage. This can be done by selling more of the product and having a good marketing campaign. The venture capitalist will continue evaluating the products and the venture and may give additional funds for expansion if the firm has required potential for growth. Then comes your bridge or pre-IPO stage. In general, this is the last stage for the venture capital financing process. The main goal of this stage is for the venture to go public so that investors can accept the venture with a profit commensurate with the risk they have taken. VC funds sell stock once company matures. Then comes initial public offerings, that's IPOs. Initial public offering is the process by which a private company can go public by sale of its stock to general. It could be a new, young company or an old company which decides to be listed on the exchange and gets to this public. It is an act of offering the stock of a company on a public stock exchange for the first time. There are 5 steps to become a public company with a stock for sale in a public exchange. Choose an underwriter or invest bankers, draw a letter of intent, file a registration statement with the SECs, announce the offering in the financial press, and do a roadshow. With this, we will be concluding this session and we will be continuing the next. एक दो मिनट पहले आया मैं क्या होता है यहाँ बंद करना पड़ेगा यहाँ बंद करना तो ठीक है ये एक मिनट